Yeah! The barbarian dung collector is back again, baby. I'm here to talk to you about something very important: your home, your food, a simple, well cooked meal, getting clean after a hard day's work where you're covered in sweat and muck and don't want to stay in your bed with all of that. And of course, the everlasting aphorism of no stinky. That's right, I am talking about Dista, Theological Brodex, baby. Let's go. So Dista, she is she's known as the Hearth Maiden, and she's the goddess of cooking, of cooks. She's also geysers and steam. She's the goddess of hearths, of waterfalls, and I always set her up as the goddess of homes as well, as I think that fits with her role as the goddess of hearths. She, like Saisha, is she's a simple goddess, but a deep one, as these are all going to be things that are of great importance in any world. I mean, cooking, the hearth, your home. What are we other than animals without these basic luxuries? You could even call the home and the hearth and a meal sort of the common man's luxuries. As I couldn't imagine a society where young people aren't even able to afford a home. That would just be a sign of horrific malpractice in their duty from the older generation. And I mean, obviously, a world like that could never exist. But Kvegathale is a dark place, and there are those who go without homes, who go without a warm hearth, who go without good meals and are unable to clean themselves. In fact, probably the vast majority of sentient beings living in Kvegathale are unable to clean themselves on a regular basis. And, some of them don't want to. An ogre comes back from a battle covered in blood. He's not cleaning that up. The Acherai certainly aren't cleaning themselves. They'd probably die if they did. Uh, you know, and For those who desire these goods, who desire a home, who desire good food, who desire cleanliness, but are unable to achieve them, Dista feels for them, and they're the ones that she reaches out to most desperately to aid them. Now, there are some divinities where you could draw a comparison. San, the goddess of compassion, but Dista is not like San. Dista does not deny that there will be a hierarchy. She does not deny people the pleasure of having things. I mean, having a home. She wants you to own your own home. She wants you to ensure that you have good, delicious food. She is similar to Lacedarnia, the goddess of mothers, but different in that Dista has a more broad view. She's not this purely goddess of peace. She's a peaceful goddess, but again, there's this idea of fighting for your home, fighting for where you belong. And unlike Lacedarnia, kind of on the other sliding scale with San, she's not as big into luxury as Lacedarnia. She's not as big into fine things. The simple things are enough for Dista. And she calls people to be humble, to be respectful, to take pleasure in the ordinary. And so let's go through her. So first of all, her parents are Leviathan and Morgul, and she was born when the flames of Morgul first touched the waters of Leviathan on the edge of the world. producing steam, which is, of course, Dista's body. She is made of steam, of hot water billowing out into the world. And this is a fitting thing, as like Dista, steam has a form. It takes a shape. It has order to it, but it is open, and it spreads, allowing it a degree of sort of gentle expansion. In the same way that as people build their homes in a town, their village, it tends to expand, not necessarily necessitating any kind of violence or conquest. She has the sort of burning, intellectual, ambitious flame of Morgul, but tempered by the gentle waters of Leviathan. She has the sort of enigmatic, and sort of mighty depths of Leviathan, but illuminated and made comprehensive by the bright flames of Morgul, giving her both the aspects of sort of enigmatic depth, and sort of strong comprehensiveness. Dista is a goddess who wants to be and can be understood by her followers and indeed by others, as she's a very supportive divinity. Of course, her holy number is 16, and her holy weapon is the dagger, as this is the weapon of the cook, for one, the knife for cutting, but also a weapon of self-defense for the ordinary. A dagger, unless you are a devious assassin, is a weapon for self defense for ordinary people who are not going to be going out to battle, but who may need to grab something to have some sort of chance against the raging, rapacious ogre barbarian who goes into their home to take all of their goods, as they should. But she gave the gift of cooking to the world. She invented the processes by which you can mix spices and different ingredients and boil and cook, and make something that would otherwise be inedible into something that is edible, nutritious, and by God, delicious. And of course, her symbol is a bowl of food, kind of representing what she offers to the mortals of the world. And she calls for sacrifices of making new recipes, and making masterful dishes. And I also add things like, providing hospitality is a big sacrifice she has, and serving the needs of the hungry. And of course, prayers are to be said before each meal, and her omens come in, images from steam, and then sort of strange shapes and cooked food. So you ever seen that weird looking carrot? That's a sign from Dista that you need to get checked for ED. And so she her followers tend to wear yellow, red, orange, white, and tend to dress humbly, but they're not required to wear simple rags. They can have finery, as long as they're not too showy about it. And she teaches, to tend the bellies of the hungry, to get good at cooking, regardless of your utensils, and to show respect to her natural expressions like geysers, streams, waterfalls, and she says that when you wash physically, when you wash the dirt, the muck, the sweat, the blood, the gore, it's like washing away your sin, and you can be reborn within this cleanliness, so long as you are kind, respectful, and humble to everyone. Now we're going to go through a little bit of her 9 acts of reverence. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I want you to read the book, but this gives an idea of her values. These are some of the things she opposes. You should not fail to teach others to cook, for Dista desires all learn the arts of cooking. It is a sin to neglect to bathe yourself, you disgusting piece of shit. And it's a sin to not share your food, as all must eat. All who are hungry must be fed, so long as they're willing to work to contribute themselves as much as they are able, and acting prideful or unkind or envious. These are all sins as well. To think of yourself too often, to put yourself above others, to treat other people poorly, to make them feel unwelcome, undeserving of food, or to rankle with frustration at those who have more than you, when that is in fact something you should be happy for them. You should be happy for those who have more than you, and seek to follow their example so that you may have as much as them. These are all things, these actions are all considered irreverent and sinful to Dista, and will earn you her ire, which is not something you want, considering she is the favored daughter of Morgul. And to disrespect Morgul's favorite daughter, although she may forgive you, she may not even act upon you, but the flames you are using to cook will rise with an anger of their own, and Morgul will punish you for disrespecting his beautiful little princess. And I find it very interesting that she's Morgul's favorite daughter, because Morgul does not like Leviathan. Morgul, in fact, fears Leviathan to a degree. But I think it's the idea that something so beautiful, so wonderful, and that brings so many people to Morgul, that puts another face on Morgul, pun intended, that gives respect for Morgul, is something Morgul appreciates. That people are able to see its kinder side, that people can see it as not just this force of destruction, but really this life giving force. And Dista lives with Morgul at the end of the world. She stays with her parent, with her flame, and by that logic, with Leviathan as well, as Leviathan is all the water. And she is the only point of sort of respect between the two, where water and fire can seem to get along. Now, she is a goddess of order. She is in the court of order. But she does feel that many of the members of the court she's within are dishonorable. And it fills her with shame. See the cruelty of Helena, the tyranny of Zansaro, the brutality of Olus, and the arrogance and outright racism of Pelgan. Even the detached nature of Zykinus offends her. She wishes to ease suffering, to help the mortals. And in this way, she has respect for almost all divinities. Now, that said, there are those few divinities who she is very clearly going to be oppositional towards. As she is, though she is not hateful towards anyone, she's even tolerant towards the forces of darkness. She wants them to eat. She wants them to be better. However, there are those who, just by their very nature, will find themselves aligned against Veloptif. There is Cassadur, who does not work for anything. He steals, he takes from others and causes others to have less. There is Azidahaka, disease, uncleanliness, filth, which is something that Dista cannot abide. And there is Raxel, a bumbling idiot who can't really do anything of value. And there are, of course, more divinities who she may have issues with, but even these divinities, even the wicked Azidahaka, who, yes, Dista likely wants to see destroyed, she would much prefer if there were some redemption for him. Although, what redemption there possibly could be for the dragon of disease is unclear. So now that we've gone through the basics and the sort of what's in the book, let's expand on it. Okay, Morgul and Leviathan, fire and water. I touched on the mixture of this earlier and how it produces steam, but it's important to note that this very mixture represents literally and metaphorically what Dista is. On the literal level, it is the most common process of cooking that people of Cavagathail are going to have access to. Most people don't have the fine ovens and other tools to bake delicious pastries and cook meats in that way. What most people who cook in Cavagathail are going to have is going to be a pot filled with water with fire beneath the pot, burning it and boiling as it cooks the food. So, what does this metaphorically represent in Dista? Well, this represents sort of the way she sees the process of life. It is simple but deep. There is work and labor in it, but it is nothing brutal. There is the burning, there is the destructive aspect that must be necessary for the creation of goods, just as the cook burns and boils the food in the pot. The person in life turns away old ways, turns away things that may be sinful or poor for them to engage in pursuit of a greater life, in pursuit of something better. The disease, the bacterium, the other things within the food is burnt away to produce something better. And in this sense, things are destroyed in cooking. That which is cooked is made technically less as things are removed, but in the end, it is greater than the original product. You put a great deal of grain and other ingredients into a bowl, you end up with something smaller but better than what went in. Thus, it is in life as you put your actions forward, as you live, as you have experiences. In Dista's eyes, you become smaller but better. Wrongful doors are turned away from you. Certain problematic traits and foolishness are cut away and cut away and cut away until what is left is the finished product, the meal, metaphorically speaking. And now we can discuss her personality and her agenda and how she might appear and interact with mortals, as well as her church. I'm going to start with her church here, actually, the people who follow her. So her church, they tend to be these large fest halls, simple and humble, but large and full of life. The luxuries you'll see here are the gifts people are giving to each other, not necessarily grandiose adornment, although they are going to have some adornment to make people feel welcome, to give people something beautiful to be around as they eat and as they enjoy each other's company. And her followers, they are going to be kind, hardworking, humble people. These are cooks. These are, think the Vestal virgins of Rome, although they're not necessarily going to be virgins. They're people who tend to the flames, to the cooking pots, to these things that may seem so mundane and simplistic, but are in their own fashion, even with the non-clerics. So these are mystical arts. Cooking in a world like Cavagathail, this is a mystical art. It is not something that is hyper rational and, well, this is the science of cooking. No, fuck that. Fuck science, man. No, cooking is a beautiful, mystical thing. I'll say it again, mystical. 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 I've said it so many times. I'll say it again. Mystical. That's what cooking is, And as a guy with a mother who loves to cook and makes great meals, I think it's something mystical in real life. I mean, the work that goes into it. These people take pride in their cooking. They're not prideful, but they take pride in their cooking. They have this humble respect for themselves and that they are able to make to create food, to give something. And the way people in Kvagathel are going to view this as ingredients go in and as they're stirred and spices are thrown in and it's boiled for a certain amount of time, a transformation takes place. And in Kvagathel, this is not just metaphorically, but literally a divine act. It is quite genuinely a gift from a goddess. This act, this process, and there is likely something spiritual going on. In fact, not likely, there is something spiritual going on in every act of cooking as the Zao, the servants of Dista, touch upon every meal that is made with care. And I have a rule in my setting. Part of the reason why foods that are not cooked with love do not taste good is because they have not earned the blessing of Dista. If you go into the home of a humble peasant woman who is, okay at cooking, but not excellent, but she's okay at cooking, and she doesn't really have many very good ingredients, just some bread, some vegetables, maybe just a little bit of meat, like some fish or whatever. That meal is still going to taste decent if she put compassion and love into it, because unseen by the untrained eye, Dista, she sticks her finger into that pot and stirs it about and puts that indescribable essence of deliciousness into that production. And in the same token, if you have this royal chef who's excellent and he has all the ingredients available to him, but he's just putting in the motions and he doesn't really care and he kind of hates the nobleman he's cooking for. Kind of, oh, fuck that piece of shit. It's going to be missing something. It's going to be missing that essence of Dista, as she has no interest in blessing that which is not done with love, in blessing that which has no affection to it. And so you're going to find her followers, beyond just the literal skill in cooking, the actual knowledge, these are going to be people who have this great feeling towards it, who really care about it, and who may even part of their process may be just speaking to the meal as they make it. You will be delicious. You will be for Bruce, and he will enjoy the meal. A wife telling the cooking pot as she stirs it that it will bring great pleasure towards her husband. The more scrupulous, the more honorable royal chef laughing as he makes the food. Oh, this will knock the king off his feet. Oh, he will certainly love this. As Dista smiles upon that. And so the followers, they're humble, they're kind, they're full of life, they're vivacious, they're fun to be around, even if they're not always loud. And they're very clean and they're particular and they're careful and thoughtful. And I imagine, just kind of for the imagery, these sort of robes of red and yellow and orange and white, with hoods, and then these aprons kind of over the robes are sort of built into the robes, in these sort of intricate symbols, like that look like some like vegetation, some meats or whatnot, like you've got like a symbol of like a turkey leg kind of woven in there, and some kind of carrots and grains intertwined on the sleeve, and perhaps they're going to wear their ingredients upon them as part of their holy garb. They have these garlic, garlic bulbs kind of strung upon their cloak like a bandolier, and they can peel off a bit of garlic off one of them and throw it in for a bit of flavor. And they're sort of singing these hymns of cooking, and maybe even oftentimes for the humility, and then so that people appreciate them by the product of their labor, not by how they appear. I often imagine them wearing these sort of porcelain or iron masks, uh, um, simple and almost featureless, so that you know them by the food, not by their appearance, and so that the beautiful woman, the ugly woman, the handsome man, the ugly man, you will taste his excellence in the meal instead of seeing it upon his face. And of course, they do care about appearance in that they like cleanliness and taking care of themselves, and taking care of their health, but more so than their own appearance, they do care about the appearance of the meal, of making it look nice, of making it look good. So there's that first impression of, ooh, oh, this looks tasty. Oh, I like the way the mashed potatoes are laid out over here, and they've got some carrots here, and oh, a nice steak, and they can kind of cut it and enjoy it. And so the meal looks beautiful and draws people towards it. And her followers, they're going to express this not just literally, but in the way they live their lives. They're going to present things in an honest, but presentable way, in a way that draws people towards the substance of the matter. They're going to wear their virtues on their sleeve, not in a braggadocious way, but so that people may know that that they will be kind, that they will be open, that they will be humble, that people can trust this. So now for Dista. What is Dista's agenda? Well, the simplest way I can state it is that Dista's agenda, her desire, is to feed the world, to ensure that all have food, and to ensure that all are producing and adding something that everyone is an ingredient in the beautiful finished product that is the life of the community. She wants everyone to have a home. She wants everyone to have a place to belong, somewhere to sit down, to enjoy companionship. She does not want people to be alone. And so she's going to do everything she can to achieve this. She's going to bless these communities. She's going to bless the homes who praise her name. She's going to be there with them in their kitchen, at their hearth, and watching over them and providing them safety and security, calling upon the daemons of her parent Morgul, and even sometimes her parent Leviathan, to protect these people from predation, and from the ills of the world around them, of the unclean world around them. And so she may, for those player characters who are working towards this, who are living this, who are helping to protect people, she may appear to them in a great column of steam, as her image, her very body is a great mass of steam, and she may speak to them clear and strong but gentle, with the voice of steam itself, saying, I see that you have labored. I see what you have done. You have fed my people, and in doing so, you have fed me. You have given homes to the homeless, and in so you have given me a place to live. And now I offer you my blessings, and I offer you a quest, yes, a quest to do good in the world. Go to the city of trade, where many are ill, where many live upon the street, where there is chaos and bloodshed, and seek to cleanse them of this illness, And I kind of just this mythical Lady of the Lake vibe. I just watched Excalibur. Of just sort of oftentimes she'll be enigmatic. Oftentimes she's not going to speak to you. You're not even going to know it's her appearing, but you will see this column of steam that will pass by, and something for you will be left. A meal for a warrior who is fighting for the right, who is fighting to protect those who cannot protect themselves, who has found himself in a position where he has no rations, but he is very hungry, and yet upon a stone is left a delicious meal for him, just enough so he can carry on, just enough so he can defeat that enemy and return to the town where he will be able to eat, to be able to fill his belly, just enough so that he will not fade away, so that he will not die, or perhaps her steam guiding you to a stream, to a geyser, where finally, after days of traveling, after you are weary and worn, and covered in sweat and dirt and mud and blood, a place where you can clean yourself, a place where you can relax and close your eyes and have peace for a moment's notice, knowing that Dista will warn you if anything comes upon your path, if anything tries to interrupt your relaxation. And she will appear from the cooking pots of the ordinary people. For not all catalysts in the With the Ring of Fire game are just going to be warriors. They may in fact be cooks, barbers, ordinary people, and so that steam will warn them, will come up and show them a way out of a dangerous situation. Just follow the steam that comes out of your cooking pot, and you will be safe. So she may wish through these enigmatic means to draw people together, to push people towards a home, to bring the nomads to halt so that they may settle, so that they may build up their yurts into houses and have a hearth there and be safe and sound and live a pleasant life. And that is the glory of Dista. And that's all I got to say about it.